Mayorkas was caught saying the border crisis is, quote, unsustainable, and we're going to lose if borders are the first line of defense. Joining me now to weigh in is Texas Congressman Brian Babin. Congressman, always great to see you, sir. Comment, if you will, on Mayorkas admitting, first off, that Biden's policies are, quote, unsustainable, but also tackle for me Mayorkas ignoring Trump's success with the border, making it our first line of defense.
Well, I think Secretary Mayorkas is being a little disingenuous. He made this address, according to what I'm hearing, to his border agents themselves. He may be in there trying to kiss up to them to keep their morale up, but it's his policies indeed that have caused this absolute disaster down on the border. And I don't trust the man a second. He ought to be censured. He frankly ought to be impeached. The man has been a disaster for our border. I think we're up to close to 400 bodies found down there. He's endangering not only Americans, but the migrants themselves. We've had 213,000 illegals come across the border just last month. And for him to go down there and to kind of kiss up to the border agents and say things like this, it's just preposterous. I don't trust him for 1 second. And he's right, of course. What he's telling them is absolutely the truth. It is unsustainable what they're doing. He knows it. He was warned by the Trump administration. I know a bunch of the folks that work for President Trump in the border authorities that in the transition period were telling them, do not undo MPP, Title 42. Don't stop construction of the border wall, on and on and on. And nevertheless, they did. And now he's saying, oh, we can't get rid of Title 42. And yet we've got a massive COVID outbreak in the country, especially in Texas, in my own district. And I think a lot of it can be traced to the border. And they've released 7,000 COVID positive illegal immigrants from the city of McAllen and that sector of the Rio Grande Valley. No wonder we're having COVID. While we're being told to mask up.
It's a disgrace.
It's so hypocritical.
It's a disgrace. It's absolutely a disgrace. And I heard one of the border officials down there yesterday saying that he's got 300 to 400 border officials out of work every single day, laid up because they're quarantined because of their exposure to the China virus. Speaking of Mayorkas, let's talk more about this guy. He discussed in his press conference yesterday the numbers, and they're absolutely out of control. Texas authorities have encountered around 213,000 illegal aliens who crossed in July alone. That's the most in 21 years. Mayorkas' department is also using a small airport in Texas, out there in Abilene, to disperse these illegal aliens throughout the United States. And now we know many of these illegal aliens have the China virus, and Biden is sticking them inside, Congressman, American cities with no warning to the public of the public health threat. Question: why isn't every Republican lawmaker gathered on the steps of the Capitol in a press conference demanding that Biden stop bringing in these viruses with illegal aliens, putting them in the middle of cities and not telling local officials about it?
Your question is why? What was the question about that, Chris?
Well, Congressman, I like to know why the Republican Party isn't unified and showing up on the steps, gathered together so the press can't ignore the disaster that's going on and making a unified, solid front. But it seems like guys like Mitt Romney or Susan Collins or Lisa Murkowski don't give a damn about all of these COVID patients, these thousands upon thousands of illegal aliens bringing in the China virus and being stuck smack dab in the middle of American cities. And Biden isn't telling anyone about the public health threat.
No, the whole thing, Chris, is meant to be a secret. They don't want the public to know exactly what's going on. I can tell you, I was down there on the border. I'm the co-chairman of the House Border Security Caucus. I've been to the border 3 times this year. I was down there with President Trump and Governor Abbott, and flying back from McAllen, Texas, in the Rio Grande sector back to Houston. I took pictures in the airport and also on the airplane that I was on. There were illegal aliens streaming onto the airplane. Probably at least 1/3 to 1/2 of the aircraft were filled with illegal aliens with new clothes, with sheafs of papers, with signs that said, I don't speak English, put me on the right bus or put me on the right airplane, free cell phones, free minutes, coming in, streaming in, going to different areas. These people just happen to be going to Houston where I was. But as you said, Abilene is one of these airports that is being used as well. These people are going all over the country. And the Biden administration wants to hide it. The mainstream media wants to hide it. They don't want people to know about this. With COVID, with terrorist watch list, criminals coming in, the increase in criminals coming across the border, illegals, are up 1,200%. The American people are being placed in danger, right and left. Insolvency is kind of looming at us on the horizon with this. They're spending this kind of money, and I agree with you. I think we ought to all be out there, but I'm doing all I can. I can tell you that as the Border Security Caucus co-chairman, taking people down there, talking to people like you, trying to get the message out. It is an unmitigated disaster on this border and a creation of President Biden and the radical wing of the Democrat Party that is controlling that entire party now. And Secretary Mayorkas is right in the middle of it.